like he said, it's been 12 years I've been working in the industry, and it's been such an experience. It's so overwhelming to be, just sitting here today and talking to you guys. It's a pleasure. I must say that I'm very, very honored to be a part of this whole, just ideology and just sharing knowledge and talking to each other, because, not many people get to do that, and I love it. I love it from the bottom of my heart. So I'm very happy to be a part of this thing today, and let's have a chat, and I'm happy to help. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. I'm gonna start by playing a little bit. I'll play a little bit, and then we can have questions. Yeah. not using any tone. Just a little bit of reverb from this new Hall of Fame pedal. This one has a lot of modes that you can choose from, but I'm going to talk a little bit about my tone setting on the bass. I like to keep 50% of mid-lows. That's what gives me that Jacko-ish sound. Thank you for that. I don't know who did that. Some textural stuff. Anyway, so you see that attack sound? That's coming from the mid-lows. If I turn that, it's going to sound very round, but high mid-ish, which I don't like. I mean, when I'm soloing, then I like it, but when I'm slapping, then I don't like it. Yeah. So that's my normal tone. Almost full high mids from my preamp, and same on the head amp. As you can see, the high mid knob is way up there. I love the high mids. If I turn that down, you'll see a big difference. See that? So it's got a lot. Your playing has got a lot to do with your tone settings. If you don't have that complementing to your technique and your sound that you're looking for in your head, then no matter how good you play, it's not going to register at all, you know. Then I like to keep the lows 50%, same on in here. This is the low knob on my Mayonnaise bass. So if I turn that down, it's going to sound yeah. And that's my high mids. So if I turn that down, see that? Same. So what I'm doing in here by keeping the same setting is I am creating a headroom for myself. If you believe me, my volume from here is just 30%. See that? I am keeping a lot of headroom for myself. What happens is when you play in rock bands, or if you play with like 2 drummers, or like, you know, a big band mostly, then you have to have headroom, otherwise you never know. You know, band can get loud and then you need some assistance, right? And there's no other good partner than your instrument. So you have to do a setting that works for you and helps you at the same time. So having that kind of headroom with me gives me the access to not play, not dig in too much. So if I'm tired doing right now I'm digging in too much, but if I turn up the volume, then I can play. Then I'm not digging in too much. Same tone, but more, you're saving your stamina. That's what you do when you have to play like 3-hour set non-stop, then you have to do that.
How do you structure practices to make them more fruitful and longer lasting in your memory?
So I always believe in having these exercises made for myself, which not only helps me in one subject, but helps me in a lot of subjects. But because if you practice one exercise which serves you only on one subject, you end up consuming more time, and then you know you have to play other exercises which helps you in other subjects. So I don't want to waste time. I'm like very impatient, and you know I just want stuff that helps me more, doing little, you know. So I build up these exercises for myself by the help of my father, of course. You know, the basic theory that you normally get from everybody, arpeggios and like, you know, harmonic theory, everything, you know, that's normal stuff. You get it on internet. You don't have to come to teachers to teach you that. Internet is the biggest education in today's world. You don't need books for that as well now. You just go on internet and you can find everything. But what you don't get is facility, how to use it, you know, that's the main thing. And I'll give you an example how I framed this. This was my first exercise that I framed myself that helped me in a lot of subjects. My finger technique, you know, these flamenco styles. I always loved, I was very, very, you know, fascinated by how flamenco players sounded. So I always wanted to do something like you know, so I always wanted to do that. And so I built up my chops accordingly. And but I started out playing arpeggios, like take the first major normal scale. I know a lot of people will be thinking, why are you playing this position? You can play this position, which is easier. But why this is because it helps me increase my spacing between my fingers. So I use this. And it also helps in the sequence that we're going to go forward on the next step, which is root, third, fifth, seventh note, could be minor seventh, depends on what mode you're playing. Here we're playing a major mode, so the seventh becomes a major seventh. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, root, third, fifth, major seventh, and second note. That's the sequence we're going to follow for every mode. So, yeah, that's the first half of the exercise, and then the second half is, yeah, so, yeah, same, do the same with the next mode, Phrygian mode, no, sorry, Dorian mode. So, root, third, fifth, seventh, in this case it's a minor, so the chord becomes D minor seventh. And then the third mode is Phrygian mode. Root, third, fifth, seventh, again a minor seventh. Here the second becomes a flat compared to the minor scale. And I find it hard too, so that's why I built this. And what I'm doing is literally just playing the notes, but I'm cheating it here. I'm not playing the second note, but it sounds like I'm playing. So, I'm hammering. And playing the fifth note with the first finger of your right hand. Playing the seventh note, which is a major seventh in here, with the second finger of your right hand. And then playing the third note with the thumb, like that. So. And then playing the fifth note again with the first finger. Major seventh with the second finger. First finger, the very last note. So, same, you just go on, keep going on until you reach. So it's gonna sound like this. And when you play fast, it's gonna sound like a lot in my soloing. If you have heard this song called Day by Day, in my solos I've used this a lot. I'm going to play that song and you'll see that. So yeah, these are a few exercises. Exercises just don't only mean that it's going to help you in like, you know, harmonic theory and soloing and everything. Of course it is going to, but at the same time, like I said, you have to know how to use it. So playing these exercises helped me in two things. One is increasing the gaps, right? Second is, I get to know all the arpeggios of every mode, and I'm also getting to know the numbering, the sequence of the modes, but, you know, after the Ionian mode, Dorian, and then Phrygian, and then Lydian, Mixolydian, and Locrian, and blah, 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 you know? So you have to know all those things. Even if you don't know the names, at least know the positions, so that when you're soloing or if you're improvising, anywhere your finger lands, you know what's the position like, you know? So if I'm playing C major chord, and if I want, then what is the mode? What is the fifth mode? You know, you have to know immediately. And that is going to help you when you play these exercises. It's going to help you a lot knowing what position works. For example, you're soloing and then you want to start with the second note. Then you have to know what's the second mode, and you can solo accordingly, you know? So yeah, these are a few exercises, and like it helps you with your finger technique as well, of your right hand. So it helps you in 5 subjects altogether, like I said, you know, spacing, numbering, sequence, and then finger technique, and also makes it really powerful. Like most of the people, for bass players, I think thumb is the really weakest one. That's the up. That's really hard to do, and I found it really hard to get that at one point, and I worked it. I'm going to show you. Like I worked on it through several techniques. I always wanted to do gimmick stuff and like, you know, these Carnatic stuff. I grew up playing with Zakirji since I was 13, and I was fascinated by all these syncopated stuff that all the tabla players and percussionists did. And I wanted to do the same on bass, and I just thought that every time they would do all these korvais and konakos, bass would be the weakest, because normally, at that point of time, nobody was phrasing the same thing, you know, but I wanted to do it in my head. In my head, I could hear everything. Like, I knew that bass could do something like that. And some other people that I knew could do that was Victor Wood, you know, because his up thumb is really, really strong. And I was like, I need to work on this. So take a simple chord, man. Takadimita, 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 takadimita. Now there are several ways to do it. Normally these guys, if they want to take it to another level, they would do the most common one. Of course, there are many possibilities, but the most common one that they would do if they're meeting randomly on stage, they will or all the fives, and I always used to wonder, how do I do that? I could do it in, but it's all percussive, and I wanted to play notes which was more powerful. Having drums play that, this is not going to register at all. I mean, it's the same thing, but it's not going to register. No matter how hard you play, it's not going to register. People are not going to be able to hear it because they're powerful instruments. So I needed to find a way that could be more powerful than that. Then I came up with... that's another way, but then it's half. I wanted to do the triplets. I wanted to do the which, so I did this for a while, and then I got bored, and then I figured out this. Okay, that was powerful, but still not up to my mark in my head. I wanted to do even better. So then I came with this. Yep, that's another technique. And then I heard this other bass player called Marco De Virgiliis, and he has this amazing up-thumb technique. And I learned this technique from him. Well, he couldn't do this. It was too hard for him, and this was too hard for me. These are also triplets. There are so many kinds of triplets. These are also triplets. There are so many kinds of, there's so many possibilities. But I loved this. Yeah, because that was the most powerful out of all. That way I get to work on my techniques when I was working with all these big musicians. So that's how I got to learn a lot. Of course, there are no teachers sitting and students sitting and taking lessons like that. But you just learn on the fly. When you see something, you would eventually want to pick that up. At least I am like that. If I see somebody speaking nicely, or if I like something, if I like the dialogues, or if I like the style, or the fashion sense, I would immediately transform into that in no time. It would get stored in my head, and I would want to do the same thing, at least close to that. Not the same thing, but of course each one has their own voice, and you would infuse that with your playing, with your own ideas and sense. So it all comes with how much time you spend. There's this saying, if you want something really bad, you have to devote yourself completely to it. And that means sacrificing and compromising on a lot of other things. Because 24/7, you have to be with that thing because you have to prove yourself. There are many, many competitors out there, and you have to be the best out there to not prove anybody, but prove to yourself that you are satisfied, and to prove to yourself that you can do even better. The day you know that you're good is good, but if you start thinking that you're the best, then there's nothing that you're looking forward to in life. So I always tell myself that I still have to work so hard, and I still I'm so fascinated by all these young musicians that I see on YouTube, or if I meet somebody, and I would always want to infuse that with my kind of playing or approach or outlook towards things. That sense of contentment, passion, enthusiasm is so important, because then the desire is more, and it's never enough. That's what we're looking for at the end of the day. At least I am looking for that, because I don't want to find myself. I like hanging in there,